Liz, and this is my identity speech, and this is my audience. According to Pew Research Center, just over 32% of people ages 18 to 34 years old are still living with their parents, and I wish I was one of them. Growing up, I had a very close relationship with my mother. We could do everything, and I was able to tell her anything. My mom is my role model, and moving away from her has taught me a ton of valuable life lessons. Being raised by my mother and moving away from her has shaped me into who I am today. On March 5th, 1997 was the first time I ever met my role model and my mom, Mary. She has always been there for me and supportive of my decisions. She is also tough on me when my decisions warranted. In my junior year of high school, I got in some trouble with the police, and I was horrified of what she was going to say or do to me. One of my good friends got alcohol poisoning on Halloween night, and we ended up having to call the police in an ambulance to come pick her up. After she was taken away in the ambulance, the rest of the kids that were there that had been drinking all received minors, and our parents were called. My mother turned out to be very understanding of the situation and was proud that we did the right thing and called the police to make sure that our friend was okay. She did make me pay the fine, but she did not get angry like I had expected her to. My mom understood that I was just a kid and I could have done something much worse. She was just glad that everyone was safe. My mother is supportive of the goals that I have set for myself. Both of my parents have pushed for all of my siblings and I to further our education, and I am the first one to have the motivation and the willpower to push myself to do it. I have thought about changing my major multiple times, and she helps me weigh the pros and cons of changing my major or sticking with continuing my nursing degree. Going through college, I have hit so many struggles with my homework load, anxieties, and financial situation. Whenever I get overwhelmed with what I'm going through, I know that I will be able to call her and have her calm me down and put a rest to my worries. Having such a close relationship with my mother made it hard for me to move out of her house, but moving out has taught me many valuable life lessons. The first one that I was forced to learn was how to manage my money. I ended up sharing my first apartment with one of my good friends who agreed to help me pay for half of my living expenses. This allowed me to have an easier financial transition to living on my own. I've always done very well at managing my money if I know how much I need to save and when it is due. There have been many unplanned events and expenses that pop up that I have had to find a way to take care of. But every time, I am able to get myself out of that rough situation. I have never been late on any payments, and I have always been able to afford what is necessary. Another struggle that I still face while living on my own is that I get very lonely. I grew up with a very close and large family, so when I moved out on my own, it was a huge transition. I was not ready for it. At first, I spent a lot of time with my family and my cat. Then my family eventually moved down to Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota. After they left, I began spending a great deal of time with my friends. After my parents moved, my friends began to help me get through the hardships I now face. I still struggle with being at my apartment alone sometimes, but I have begun to enjoy my time alone. I also got another kitten to help me when I am feeling lonesome. Being on my own helped me gain my independence and value the freedom to do whatever I want whenever I want. From 1997 up to this day, my mother has given me advice and motivation to get me through the hardships while living on my own. Has created some difficulty. It has also educated me on how to deal with them on my own. I have looked up to my mother my whole life, so deciding to leave had a huge impact on me. Being raised by someone as tremendous as my mother and then moving out of her house has created the life that I have to this day. Thanks for listening.